Hi, Mathis family. I'm Kelly Glass. I'm an editorial director at Parents. Thank you all so much for spending time with me today. Such an honor. So cool. Mathis Family Matters premieres on Juneteenth, which is also Father's Day this year, so very fitting. It's also a departure from Judge Mathis, which has been on the air for more than 20 years. So, Judge Mathis, you're already known for certain things, but what will people be surprised to learn about Greg Mathis, the family man?
They'll be surprised to learn that although I try and replicate my role that I have on television, it doesn't work at home at all. I'm constantly disrespected with regard to my advice. It's rejected by all my children. My wife won't do anything I tell her to do. She says it's a new age, and I just, it's a mess.
It's a mess, but we'll enjoy watching it. Okay.
Do you enjoy watching Judge Mathis? Because he's a mess too, and he's a bigger mess on the Mathis Family Matters.
That's awesome. Linda, so after viewers see the show, what do you think, or what do you hope Linda Mathis will be known for?
Well, I hope after viewers see the show that they see me as being a mom who was dedicated to her kids. She has raised 4 fantastic children who are all individuals. And so it must be something behind that, made them be such great children. So I hope they see this a loving parent, now turned into a loving grandmother, and also a person who's also, dibbling and dabbling in business and taking care of her family.
Yeah.
And putting her family first.
Yeah, I love that.
And let me also say that it's an honor to launch the show on Juneteenth. So you have there, Juneteenth, Father's Day. You have a Black father trying to show a good example on a Black holiday.
Yes, it's perfect. It's very fitting. I also love that we get to see you all, the adult kids, doing your own thing, but also normalizing, in a way, destigmatizing some very important issues in the broader Black community. Jade, what misconceptions do you hope to help shatter about Black women and depression or mental illness in general?
This old age stigma of having a mental health, diagnosis, and that equates to being crazy, or equates to being unsuccessful or unable to live a normal life, or what normalcy looks like. I hope to relay my message that I am a walking testament, that I look normal, I'm fully functioning, and I have a mental health issue. So it doesn't have a face on it, it doesn't have a name on it. And most importantly, there's no reason to be ashamed of it. There's treatment now, there's different forms of treatment now, therapy, medication, even self-help. And there's no reason to be ashamed of it. Own your story, own your truth, walk in it, and then just inspire others. So you can still be successful in spite of your diagnosis. And it's not the end.
Very good. Yeah. And we are in a youth mental health crisis right now, especially among Black youth. And I think a lot of people would argue that we've been in a mental health crisis long before the pandemic. Judge, in Black communities, based on your work and your experience in the criminal justice system, why is it so important that we destigmatize mental illness?
Well, the fact is that nearly 1/3 of the prison population in America have been deemed mentally ill. I did a national forum in 8 cities with Dr. Satcher back, who was the former Surgeon General under Clinton. He was president at that time of Morehouse Medical School, and we did a national forum on mental illness in the prisons. And we found that 17% were diagnosed, and we estimated another 13% after further research were diagnosed. So 1/3 have been diagnosed, and that's federal penitentiaries. Then we look at the jails around the country. In Wayne County, Detroit, where we're from, it's 40% of the jailers are mentally ill. So the concern for me is that the treatment, the availability, or the demand for treatment or requirement for treatment, it's almost as if privileged kids go to privileged kids get to go to counseling and our kids get to go to jail. That's our rehabilitation. That's our counseling in prison, unfortunately. And so that's why it's so important for us to address this, because we have to awaken not only ourselves, but also public policy, elected officials, to let them know what is necessary to heal our community.
Yeah. Greg Jr. and Amir, I want to pivot to you all, talk to you all for a little bit. Greg Jr., we get to see a little bit of background about your coming out story on the show. And Amir, the way you supported Greg in this is unique. Do you both see that experience as a lesson in how siblings can support their siblings when they're coming out? And how important is that kind of support?
I think it's super important. I mean, we talked a bit about mental health here, and the fact is individuals in the LGBTQ community are more at risk for mental health issues and at risk for things like death by suicide. And so, I have been fortunate to have a very welcoming and supportive family. My brother is my best friend, and I love him, and he always has been so supportive, as has the rest of my family. And when you just think about, finding your place in the world and what that means, it is so much more helpful when you have that support system in place. And a lot of LGBTQ individuals don't have that. And so I know it's special that I do with Amir as well as the rest of my family.
Yeah.
I agree with him. I think a support system is very important. And, I have a lot of friends who are in the LGBT, community and things like that who didn't have that support. And even when Greg came out to me, I joined a gay basketball team in Chicago, just to support him and support one of my friends who hadn't told his parents yet. And I think that knowing that I could be a support to my brother, it helped me also support other people who didn't have a brother like me. And, that's very important in terms of mental health and just everything.
Yeah.
And I will jump in and say, Amir technically did a bad thing when I came out, or when he found out I was gay. He outed me to my family, which is, not the best thing to do for LGBTQ individual. But at that time, it actually helped me.
Brother.
But I told him, I said, Greg, I don't care. I know the family will not care. I think that in me, I think that he was overthinking it about how much people would, what they would think about it. So I just wanted to be that extra little push and nudge, which I found out isn't the best thing to do.
Push.
At the moment, I was trying to still look out for him.
Yeah,
as a rule, you should not out people, but in that particular situation, I was very grateful for Amir doing it. It really
Amir's gonna
my
out
support
any
system.
secret. Amir's gonna out any secret you want to keep. So I don't know what was on your mind.
Baby of the family can't hold anything.
And to just put this in perspective, it literally was, Amir calls me and are you gay? And I'm like, no. And I finally tell him, okay, yes, but please don't tell anybody. He says, okay, I won't. Hangs up the phone. Within 2 minutes, my dad calls me crying, I love you, son.
Yeah.
So it was
Is it known within the family not to tell Amir things, or?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
But I still know everything. I still know everything.
Okay. Amir, you want to defend yourself?
I mean, I would just say I learned it from my father. I got all this right from my dad, who is
That may be true.
Person in the family. And they say I'm a lot like him, and that's one of the traits that I have gotten from him.
Interesting. Okay, we're learning some new
That's
things.
about true. I'll own that.
For sure.
I like both to gossip, and I can't hold anything, so don't tell me anything.
Lessons have been learned. Camara, I want to talk to you. You have 2 daughters. One of them, a brand newish baby. You have a husband, plus the work that you do. How are you maintaining and prioritizing all of those things while still maintaining this relationship with your siblings and your parents?
It's every day, it's always different. Like I always try to say, there's no such thing as a real balance, because some days I have to prioritize my children. Some days I'm like, okay, I need my husband to step in a little more, and I have to prioritize work and, or I have family time. So it's always it's a balancing act, but there's never a balance or a moment where I feel like everything is getting attention, because I'm only one person, and you are spread thin with children. You always want to give them your all, but then if I'm not doing what makes me happy as well, then I don't have enough to give to them. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Work-life balance for moms is often a myth, and I think that's important to talk about. Yeah.
yeah, for sure, especially during the pandemic. I mean,
Yeah.
what moms in general just struggled. And so, you know, I think I'm grateful to have the opportunity to film this show and just show that, you know, moms do struggle, and it's not all beautiful Instagram pictures and beautiful moments like we have. It is hard work, and, you know, just put a realistic view, a realistic showcase of millennial family.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real. Back to the parents, you both raised your children, obviously done a wonderful job. They're now adults. What kind of legacy did you set out to pass on to them when they were younger? And do you see it now?
Well, for me, what was important is first, they have the confidence to be able to pursue and achieve their goals, because it starts then as a toddler almost, the confidence that you can succeed in school. And then once you're succeeding in school, you got to be able to avoid those obstacles. So those were my focuses: education and avoiding the obstacles that I got into. And as a result, I think they were able to see that example and understand, particularly later in life, the importance of the values that we sought to instill in them, including spiritual. We raised all of our children in the church, and we thought that was important, that we make sure that we instill that in them as well, so that they'll have a moral compass to lean on.
And I think, yeah, most definitely, just to tag on what he said, the most important thing was the spiritual and, you know, just having God in their life, because everything else fell into place. You know, I look at them, they're loving children, they care about people, they give back to their community. And these are the things that were important to me and are important to me. And I think that we instilled that in them, you know, in various ways when they were growing up.
You know, they saw us, and no, they participated, quite frankly, in all of our community activities, political activities. They learned from a young age, elementary school, 4th, 5th grade. They were going around the rallies with Jesse Jackson, holding Camara in his arms at one point at a rally we hosted for him. So they grew up in a real sense in a political and Black empowerment household as well. And we are fortunate that they took the value of service from our family example.
I don't know why something popped in my head, but I just remember even when we wouldn't be able to go to church, they would have us produce our own church service.
Yes.
Right, your grandmother was just talking
musical
about that the other
selection,
day.
a sermon, and we would all go down the basement and have church.
Yes, we had to claim Bible verses.
So I have some quick questions, like a lightning round. First questions for Judge Mathis and Linda. Which one of you is the disciplinarian?
I would say the judge
Me?
here. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I could see that.
Yes.
That part right here.
I try to be an authoritarian, but it just boils down to disciplinary, because I have no real authority in it.
I had my discipline, but it just wasn't as harsh as he is. He wanted to do 2 and 3 months, you know, your own punishment for 2 or 3 months. And I was like, come on now, look at her, you know?
Sentence. Okay. Which one of you do the kids tell everything?
Oh my goodness, her.
That's definitely.
And
Wow.
and that was because years ago I think I set the wrong tone. And that is, if you tell me something, I'm gonna overanalyze it, and you will have done something wrong by the end of my analysis.
And then put you on that 3-month punishment. Yes. Yes. So that was most definitely me.
Okay. You all agree?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is the best dancer?
Me.
Oh,
You
between
Wow,
That was a joke.
Oh,
That's fair game.
definitely mom. It's mom.
That was a joke.
Yeah,
Okay.
mom.
Kamara can't dance.
No beat, no rhythm.
all of us have an issue with rhythm.
Oh,
but I
speak for
guess we
yourself.
yes,
Oh,
do. Yes,
Not
we
me.
do.
I am good.
Not me, Greg.
all your children, all the kids, you might be right about that. I don't
That's
know
not
I don't know
true.
what
Amir
happened.
don't have a problem. Jade doesn't have
Yeah,
a
Amir
problem.
does it.
Problem.
Bobby, it was just me and you, you and dad.
Okay.
Better question. Let's get more
Don't speak for
specific
me.
then.
I used
No,
to be.
you used to be, whatever. You
Kelly,
you
you're gonna
never
have to
All
saw
right,
watch
guys,
the
it's the lightning
dance
round.
off on there. You can judge me.
Okay, it's the lightning, right? It's the lightning. Okay, go
Like a
ahead.
slow
I'm
So that's
sorry.
okay. Let's go with that one. Okay, so more specific question. Who claps on the 1 and 3? Who claps on the 2 and 4?
No one
I
knows
don't even know what
that
that means.
I know you're talking about beats maybe, but I don't know quite which,
This for everybody. Who says I love you the most?
Amir, probably.
Amir.
I'll
Yes,
say Amir, yeah.
I'm the lover of the family in all aspects.
Interesting. Who is the favorite?
Ooh. I think Greg, since he's the manager at this point, he's been catering to everyone recently.
That's right.
You see how they had a hard time answering that.
Interesting.
I would say the grandkids, but
I like that. It's very diplomatic.